comes 224 young men who today are about to become players in the National Football League. A day where lives are changed, fates are decided, dynasties are born, and the clock is always ticking. Of course, I'm talking about Draft Day.
Well, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Game time, Brian here, doing a little prime time video for you. I promised I would do a video. You're getting a video. Prime time. We sit here 48 days. Yes, less than 48 days. Well, about 48 days because the first night is prime time. Yes, prime time. Speaking of prime time, got to get with Primetime Phil to see the schedule of the combine. I think he should do the first round on his channel. That's what I think. And maybe simulcast after that, but we'll figure that out. Prime time, we will be live from the man cave or my mama's basement for the draft this year. We are not going to the draft, which is good because I get all my stuff in front of me. We can be going at it and really breaking down the draft picks. But between now and 48 days from now, there's a lot. We have a impending deadline. Yes, an impending deadline tomorrow. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. is the deadline to franchise tag any players. Yes, you have how the franchise tag works. You have tomorrow, which is March 4th, 4 o'clock Eastern. That's the deadline if you plan on franchise tagging any one of your players. You do that, and then you have until July 15th, same time, 4 p.m. Eastern, you have a window, an opportunity to still sign your player long term. But it holds you back big time, especially the Dallas Cowboys, because as soon as you give him the tag, you lose a little leverage, costs you money in the contract, as Cowboys always do anyway. They're always costing themselves money, basically by the timing of contracts. I've been saying this year should be the attacking the Tyler Smith and Deron Bland contracts a year early. They should be dealing with that now. But since they wait, deadlines makes expensive deals, in my opinion, that we're dealing with D-Law, we're dealing with Micah, we're dealing with Osa. There are things you could do, but you do not want to use the franchise tag. Dallas has used it more than most teams. We have seen Cincinnati Bengals just use the tag. I don't like it. Again, Dallas has a lot of stuff to do. Okay, they have a lot of stuff to do. We heard that a deal was imminent. I hate to use this phrase, so I'm not going to use that phrase. If I had to bet, I will say they will reach a deal tomorrow in the 11th hour before the franchise tag and get a deal done. If not, I'll be upset because that really hinders us. They're going to have to. What they would do is have to do some serious roster, like looking at rosters if they want to be active. Now, just remember in free agency, they are just started a contract talks with Micah. That will free up a lot of money, probably $20 million in the first year, as opposed to what he was gonna make. Jordan Lewis, they're working on a deal. DeMarcus Lawrence, I'm thinking it's going to cost them, if I had to guess, 1 year, $15 million. Let me know if that's what you want. I hope it's cheaper. We are hearing that Mike Fisher had said the over 21 million. We're hearing that the number is going to come in under that when you see all the guarantees. We will see. We're hearing a lot of things, but July 15th, they would have. I don't want to do it. Let's get Osa signed. Let him, let's bring down his cap number. Let's get, in a perfect world, because we are sitting here March 10th. That is a week from today, 11:30 a.m., free agent frenzy. I will be live covering it all day. Free agent frenzy, that is the day where you can agree. That was the day that Saquon agreed to a deal with the Philadelphia Eagles last year. Yes, how times have flown by, and congrats to the Eagles with the Super Bowl, but these are the days. This is the times that you need to be aggressive, selectively aggressive, some might say. But I want to play a video, but before I do, I'll play the video, but again, Micah Parsons they're in negotiations with, D-Law, J. Lou, and Osa. If we can get those four done, they're going to let Chauncey Golston and Carl Lawson hit the open market. Not that they won't try and bring back Lawson. We'll see just remember, Lawson was Lawson was out there. Nobody wanted him. We revitalized him under the old defensive coordinator. So we'll see. Mike Zim, not here anymore. Chauncey Golston, a favorite of mine. They seem to be willing to let him go and test the waters. I think he will be picked up maybe by the Washington Commanders. I love the player. I love Chauncey Golston. I would like to keep him, but can't keep everybody. But one final thing before we get to the video, and then I'm going to comment on it. Cavante Turpin was tendered a second-round tender, which means he now has a second-round tender, and the price tag for that is $5.3 million. It's a one-year deal. They have tendered him for one, so he's turned in a UFL minimal deal into 5.3, whether it's with the Cowboys or with somebody else. And I pray that somebody signs him. No offense, Cavante, but I pray that somebody signs him and we get their second round pick. Now, I'd have to go and look. The Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are the one team that are sitting there with 2 draft picks. They have their own draft pick, which will be, they made the playoffs and they made it. So you're probably talking 50, something like that. Let's see, 32, 42, 52. Yeah, probably like in the 50s. And then one at the end in compensation. They got a second round comp pick for the Stephon Diggs signing by Houston. So they got a comp pick. So they're the only team who has 2. We would get their second round pick. So that would be 32. I don't know exactly, 42, 52, between 55 and 59, like be somewhere in there. So go ahead, Buffalo. You have 2 of them. You could afford to give one. Now, anybody can do it, but I'm just looking at teams with multiple picks. So there you go. I'm kind of hoping somebody does it. Dallas would then decide not to match. Remember, Dallas would have the right to match any deal anyway, or take the compensation, and I would love it. Don't expect anybody to do that. Draft picks are like gold, but just saying, a brother can hope, can he? But all right, let's, I want to share this video, and I'm going to comment throughout. It's about 9 minutes long, brought to you by 105.3, yes, Sean Sharif. We're going to listen to it. We're going to comment. Some very, very interesting news regarding the Cowboys and their future front office, which might excite a lot of people.
All right, Bob, let's talk about what Jerry Jones is not doing, because this set off alarms from Cowboy insiders, yourself. I started texting some people about it saying, do you know anything? Why is Jerry Jones acting like this for the first time ever?
Yeah, he didn't talk. And it wasn't just not talking, like doing the
Because what
the
usually
bus.
happens.
He usually goes on the bus one of those days and sits there for 90 minutes talking to the local media. So Friday he was supposed to talk, and they never really had a time solidified, and it kept getting kind of pushed off, and And then we heard the buzz around 3, 4 in the afternoon on Friday that, hey, this is just, he's not going to talk today. Maybe tomorrow, but probably not. He's just not going to talk today. And everybody's just kind of confused by it. And we were told schedule's just super busy, super loaded.
Thank you.
I know a couple of the beat reporters hung around the hotel and were like, he'll talk. He'll talk. Like, even if he's not on the bus, we'll find him, he'll talk. So 6 hours at the hotel for a number of them and never came through. And it was like, okay, all right, I guess we're breaking up for the evening.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with Jerry. Now, Jerry, a lot of people have come out and said Jerry doesn't look good. I don't know. I think people are over exaggerating. He is 82, right? 82 or soon to be 83. Put in the comments if you know. Jerry Jones got a lot on his plate. You saw teams a little bit more active prior to the combine. And I know they have a thing where they all go on vacation and they wait for the combine to start, but they had so much on their plate. They should have, in my opinion, they should have started earlier, but I'm glad he didn't talk. Now, he will talk this Wednesday. Hopefully we have an OSA deal done, a long-term deal. If not, I'm going to be upset if they franchise tag him, which they will tomorrow at 4 p.m. Not good, people. Not good. So, I don't know. Just very annoying. Very, very annoying to me that OSA deal's not done. But anyway, that's besides the point.
And then the next day, a couple others had waited around for 2-3 hours. Saw him, John Machota had tweeted about, saw him, asked him if he was going to talk or if they could get a couple minutes. They got access to him, and he still said, nope, I'll talk back in Dallas. I'll talk later.
I'll get somebody else to ask these questions.
Like, talk later, like here? Like, you're going to talk later this afternoon? Nope, back in Dallas. Just too busy, guys. It's like, it set off alarms for some people of just like, this is weird. I don't know what it means, but this is weird that he wouldn't even give you one answer to something while he's walking. And so, I don't know. It says to me one of two things. One,
liquid gold.
There's something stirring. They've got something going on, or they are just taking more seriously this time around. I don't know why. Maybe because fresh coach or whatever. They're just taking more seriously this time around. Hey, let's just focus on the schedule and let's not blow things up. Let's not have a beer on the bus.
Well, what I had said, and I wasn't clickbaiting. I even said it's my speculation. It was all speculation. So we're allowed to do that from time to time. That they were in on Deebo, and they lost out on Deebo. They weren't going to give up. They don't have a fourth to give anyway. But remember, their pick would have been ahead of Washington's pick. But maybe they didn't want to give up a fifth. Maybe they wanted to get up a sixth because they have to eat that contract. But I was just speculating they were in on Deebo. They love Deebo. That's always been Jerry loves the player, but they love the old Deebo. I don't know what the new Deebo is, but Deebo went where he should have went. I think the Commandos need that.
Us with Sean and RJ and delay our dinner meeting. Let's just let's stay on schedule.
So you get in trouble for not talking?
No.
I thought they had to. I thought every GM had to make themselves available.
No, so basically what it is, they want you to be able to have access and do different things like that. If he's telling the local media, I'm still going to make it up and I'm going to talk to you in Dallas, then they'll count that.
What do you make of it?
Well, I mean, history shows
highly unusual.
Yeah, history shows that when he doesn't speak, when he cancels an interview with us on a Tuesday or somewhere else,
KNC Friday.
Yeah, that's
rest in peace, M.
That means that something.
Gotcha.
That generally means that something's like they're working on something. Now, there may not be anything that happens, right? Nothing may happen. They may have been working on Deebo. You know what I mean? Like they may have been working on something.
Wow, didn't
Doesn't
you
mean
hear
anything's
from me
gonna happen.
first?
But it generally, Bobby's right. Generally means that.
I just picked up on that because I heard it earlier. So they might have been working on Deebo. I think they were. Dallas loves Deebo, but Deebo's not what he was. Sorry, he's just not. He's a good pickup, but he's not what he was.
That something's afoot.
What's your history show when you looked it up?
I mean, the one that stood out to me, the moment where I was like, this has happened before, I feel like, I remembered it happened. He had done something similar where he canceled a hit here on the station.
Working on Deebo. That still has me chuckling.
And
I'll get to that in a second.
And he had blown off. He had blown off talking to the media after a Washington game in 2018, and then he canceled his appearance here. The next day, they traded for Amari Cooper. And when you guys got him back on, he said, from the standpoint of visiting with the media, frankly, I had this trade on my mind. I had several things on my mind, and I didn't want to air it all out and about. And so the best way not to, I can't keep a secret. The best way is, the bottom line is, I thought it just best to move on. So he says that essentially he can't keep secrets. And so he knew he would just spew it if he sat there and talked for long enough. So that's usually a good reason to play interference, keep him away, or to say, hey, just stay on things because we don't need to air all this out while we're trying to finish this up. Or just they're staying on task.
So the fun possibility takes us back to Mike Florio sitting down with us at the Combine saying someone told him that the Cowboys had talked to the Titans about moving up to the number 1 pick. That would be something big enough to not talk to the media and dodge them. Now, Mike did not take that report seriously enough to write it himself.
Right.
He just decided to talk to us about it on the home of the Dallas Cowboys top 5 market. I think what would actually excite fans the most is if they felt like the Cowboys were just taking things more seriously. Now, what are the chances and the possibilities of that? But I got a lot of Tolos saying, hey, maybe they're treating it like a draft and homework versus a TV show. So there's, I think, the fun possibility and there's the hopeful possibility. That's where we've gotten with the Dallas Cowboys. Fans are more hopeful. Not that you...
4 minutes left to go. This next 4 minutes is what excites me in the future of the Dallas Cowboys. Sources are saying this. I got some comments.
Get the number 1 pick, but that your organization and front office and leadership takes things more serious. I think that is the more desired option amongst the two.
Yeah. Look, I mean, they've drafted pretty well over the last 10 or 15 years. They seem to take the draft seriously enough. It's just everything else they don't take seriously, like free agency and spring, compared to spring break and when that actually might be.
Get your house
we'll
in
see.
order, Jerry.
We'll see what they wind up doing. But yeah, look, I don't think this is a significant, signifying that they're taking it more seriously. I think they truly are, like they were working on something, and it may not have actually, worked out for them. Maybe it still is in the card.
It has to be one of the two, though. Like I'm seeing some fans trying to shut this down as like, they're not going to make a move, and they would never take things serious. It's like, guys, it's got to be one of the two. Literally for
He may annoy me sometimes with his snarkiness, and Bobby, you're snarky, but at the same point, you're shit. So I guess that's a backhanded compliment. But Bobby Belt knows what he's talking about. He knows the numbers. He's got it all up here. He's a bright kid. Sorry, Bobby, you're a kid, bro. But you're a bright man. Sorry. But I think he's right. Something's brewing. We just don't know what it is. Not necessarily a big trade. Not sure.
a team that wants to be out in front and things like that, those are literally the only two options. There's no other reason to say, I'm not talking here other than I'm trying to hide a secret, or they're busy enough that they're prioritizing something else over that.
Because my first thought was, dangerous topic. He doesn't want to step in anything. But we already got through the Schottenheimer stuff. Yeah. We already got past that. You don't have to get grilled. You don't have to answer all those questions. There's no type of new scandal taking place. Someone who did make a move was the Washington Commanders as they give up a 5th-round pick for Deebo Samuel. So we had seen John Lynch out there with Jay Glazer. Apparently John Lynch was catching up with other people out and about. Well, they make a move in the NFC East, and the Commanders get Deebo. Now, my reaction to that was, oh my gosh, only a 5th? Well, the Cowboy diehards hit me back swiftly and quickly saying, well, yeah, of course. Well, I got 2 reactions. Number one.
2 reactions.
Of course. Number one, of course, it's only a 5th. He's done. He's washed up. He's injured. And they're going to have to pay him $21 million. I think it's going to end up being $17 million. We'll get to that a little bit later on. That was one reaction. Cowboy fans saying, whoop-de-freaking-do. Who cares? Deebo's done. The other reaction was the Mingo comparison.
The Mingo deal. They look terrible with this move the Cowboys do. They traded a 4th for Mingo. They traded a 4th for Trey Lance. Neither of them gave a damn thing And they also only got a fifth for Amari. So they're like on the wrong side of this deal from every facet. They're on the wrong side of this deal. From Washington's perspective, though, this is exactly what you can do when you have the cheat code, which is a rookie quarterback.
Yep.
A rookie deal quarterback.
They went in with the third most cap space to spend.
Right. When you don't have $60 million on a quarterback, you could take risks like this. You could just throw everything at the wall, and it's what you should do. And the Cowboys missed their window with Dak because they did still have Romo on the books that first year. When Dak had his rookie year, they weren't expecting it to be Dak's team. It was Romo's team. So they were still paying 20-something million for Romo, which at the time was high. And then the following year, they had some void years at the back end. So they missed the boat on the rookie deal.
I think it's weird that, you talk about the value of, he's breaking down, he's doing different things like that. Houston was the team everybody thought he was going to. And then for the report to come out yesterday that Houston didn't feel like they could ever get comfortable with the compensation. It's like, you made the play. That's a back end of the fifth, and you don't think Deebo Samuel's worth that?
Yeah.
That
teams.
At least says there's a bunch of teams around the league right now who think he's breaking down and that he's not going to be the same player. I heard one person floated over the weekend. They were like, Deebo might need to, at this point, look at transition to being a running back. Like, that might need to be his career. And if that's the case, are you wanting to pay all that money for a running back?
Finally found it. That was... Hold up. Sorry, we're going to get a little longer video than I thought. I had the wrong video up. But you got to remember, this is the video where they talk about the future of the Dallas Cowboys.
Out there, Super Bowl is just it's a big show, right? Like, everyone's running around with their handlers. People are just trying to sell their product. They're not trying to actually sit down, I don't think, and talk football. Whereas here, it feels like everyone in the room behind us, where Brian Schottenheimer just had his presser and Travis Hunter spoke earlier, that's directly behind us. It feels like some people actually stop down and talk, and they're a little bit there more for football. So I think you can get a lot more production out of this versus the big glitz and the glam and the parties. These people are going to get drunk and talk. I don't know why they're talking to all the reporters and the insiders, but maybe they're looking to vent. But I feel like it's way more productive than the Super Bowl, even though the Super Bowl has a lot of glitz and glamour.
Sean Sharif here with you on the Fan, guys. What was your big shoddy takeaway? I know you guys were just soaking in the presser.
So I had a lot of takeaways. Number one, it does sound like Osa is about to get done. Like Schottenheimer gave one of those responses where he's like, we're right there. You never want to say anything until it's final. But I took that as basically 98, 99% done. Some of the reporters here do think the number will come in under Mike Fisher's reported $21 million. But I'm taking it as that is some of the Mike McCarthy criticism.
Yeah, they go on to criticize a lot of what Mike McCarthy did. Just real quick, they talk about Brian Schottenheimer disagreeing when he was in Seattle. Brian wanted to throw the ball more. Only time will tell.
Machismo stuff, and as in Seattle, he talked about having to agree to disagree with Pete Carroll. Where Pete Brian Carroll got in trouble a little bit, he said, for letting Russ cook. He laughed at that as a joke, but then he circled back around, and he made it known he wanted to throw and Pete wanted to run. So if you're worried about, and there's a lot of talk about the run game, if you're worried about this conservative run game and boring offense, I think Brian Schottenheimer sent a little bit of a statement today that he wants to open it up and he wants to throw the ball around.
We had Schottenheimer on. Was that last year in Oxnard? And
awesome interview. He's run it 32 times. I think when we keep talking about offensive line and running the football and finding the running back with his traits and then throwing the football, like really we're all just getting back to the word balance, right? Like everybody wants to have balance. And I think when you look at that Nick Harris list of Cowboy visits, unofficial, whatever it is, there's a lot of D linemen on there. And
we're getting
with this priority of re-signing Osa, and then today Schottenheimer talked about focusing on the second-year offensive lineman. He was asked if, BB is going to move up front. He's like, too early for that now, but I'm really focused on the second-year O-lineman. He said Tyler Guyton, he singled him out. He said he's been in the weight room every single day, and he looks freaking awesome.
That's
so
good news.
I think they just want to check all the boxes, like everyone says this stuff, right? They want to be more physical. They want to be, he said, You got to be able to run the football when people know that you're running the football. We always say that about the 90s Cowboys, right? Everyone knew it was coming to Emmett, and no one could stop it. At Shake Shack or wherever brought it, take until 1 or 2 in the morning to check.
What they're doing is they're working on their interviews and things like they come back where those guys area right there.
Yeah, these guys, man, like, I'm like, are you going out? Are you going out? And they're all like, they're like 4th or 5th night. So I think they're getting a little worn down. We're here for 2 days, and this is our final night. But they have to go out. They feel like they have to go out and spend all these hours because people talk and they get the information. You just got to find the right spot.
I was blown away that you got Bobby to eat that shrimp.
All right, here we go.
You know, all you have to do with him is dare him. You know, he's such a child. Like, all you got to do is say, you won't do it. Like I told him tonight, you're not gonna stay out. You're not gonna go hard. And all you got to do is reverse psychology with Belt. You know, all you got to do is dare him, and he'll end up doing it. He actually took that horseradish, the best of all of us. I liked it, and I like spicy stuff, but I was probably 3rd on the list. Choppy was 2nd, but Roberto took it. He took it number 1 right there.
I like the fact you kind of gave him ground rules, like, you know, hey, don't do this, just eat the shrimp. I saw Jeff Lurie almost leave us doing exactly what you just did to him.
Oh my God.
Well, they say Jerry uses that as the prank. Jerry takes the prospects.
What you did, what was going on?
Yeah, it crept up there a little bit. You know that I won't order Chinese food unless it comes with that homemade hot mustard. I'm not talking about that yellow mustard generic crap. It's got to be the stuff that comes in the little plastic cups. It's got to burn you, man. Like, it's got to burn you good. And that's and you know, it's a little sadistic, but if you like horseradish, you like shrimp cocktail, it did have a good flavor. So it did actually live up to the hype. It wasn't just hot as hell. It had a good flavor to it. It better be for $20 for 4 of them.
Oh, no question about that. Hey, Sean, I'm kind of getting the idea that Will McClay seems very happy that Brian Schottenheimer is now the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm curious if you had heard anything different, that maybe Will and Mike didn't get along great all the time.
Well, okay. Let me decide here. How about two things. I'll give it to you. Number one, I had heard that at times, like, maybe Mike was not as checked in and honed in with 100% laser focus during some of the scouting sessions. Like, maybe he'd be looking down at his phone or doing something else, and then he'd kind of look up and see the good play that a player made, and he's like, look at that. Like, let's get that guy.
Selective scouting?
Yeah, while they're scouting.
McCarthy wasn't a real hard worker. This is just a fact.
Yeah. You know, so they're showing a player, and maybe there's like 3 bad plays. Maybe Mike wasn't totally locked in. He looks up for the good play. Well, you don't get the whole picture, right? So then your head coach is not watching the full entire story. But when you talk about Will McClay's happiness, this is a big future prediction bombshell I'm going to drop. I was told, and this is from the person who gave me the Schottenheimer news. This person told me that when Jerry gives up the power, when Jerry's no longer in control, Will McClay is taking the wheel of this thing. That Charlotte Jones is probably going to be attending the owners' meetings. And Will McClay is taking over in Stephen Jones' basic role. Like, we all expect Stephen to step in, and everyone's worried and afraid of that.
And do the owner stuff.
I was told that Will McClay is actually going to be really in that driver's seat. That's what that last contract was kind of set up for. So if that's the case, I think we should all be pretty happy about that possibility if and when it comes.
About that.
And Will McClay would obviously be happy about that too, if true.
Think about that, everybody. Think about that. Will McClay being the GM, obviously Stephen will be involved, but more on the cap side, and more importantly, he'll be the owner. Basically, God forbid something happens to Jerry, or if he retires, he'll be the co-owner. He just recently changed his tag to co-owner. So, it'll be interesting to see if Stephen still is a part of the competition committee, which I think he will be. So he'll be doing the competition committee stuff. He'll be basically running the Cowboys, but Will McClay will be the man behind everything, doing the draft picks in consult with his coaches and Steven, but he's going to be the actual GM, which we were all speculating. Now, this isn't in stone. Charlotte will go and do the owner meeting stuff. I like that. Tell me what you think. Inside source told Sean Sharif. I'm very happy with that. But with that, I'm going to end this video. So let me know your comments about that. Jerry Jones stepping aside. Will, and that's why Will signed a 5-year deal. 5-year. He must have gotten some sort of assurances that was what was going to happen. So stay tuned. I just got a call while I'm recording from Mark, so I think maybe he wants me to join in his live stream. Maybe. If not, yeah, we'll see. I may be on with Mark tonight, and I may go live myself if that happens. So, all right, everybody, let me know what you think. Told you about Deebo. Not everybody was excited about Deebo, but the big news is Jerry Jones, Will McClay. That's a very, very positive thing if that happens. But all right, everybody, I'll talk to everybody later, and don't ever forget.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
We better go sign Osa D-Law now. Do it.